Good morning, grade 12s. We're looking then at transformations. We are busy with our workshop and we're looking today at transformations. Now, when we work with transformations, we have four kinds of transformations that you're going to use. And they often ask the question, describe your transformation. And then we have to say what it is, but you must also say how it's done. So the first one is a reflection. A reflection. And the reflection is done over a line of symmetry. You fold it on the line of symmetry. The second one is a rotation. A rotation, I need a center, which we usually give as coordinates, x, y. What is the center of rotation? Then you have the direction. Is it clockwise or anti-clockwise? The direction in which we are rotating, anti-clockwise. And then we have to give the degrees. Usually it will be 90 degrees clockwise or 180 degrees. That's what we use there. The next one is a translation. And a translation is like when you play chess, you slide it in a certain direction. We do a translation with a column vector. We use here the column vector, and it is x over y. The meaning of that is, if you go to the right, x, then this is positive and this is negative. If you go up, it is positive, and if you go down, it is negative. So this is the x movement, and this is the y movement, the column vector. And the last one is then an enlargement. An enlargement. And when we do an enlargement, we use a center and a scale factor. The center and the scale factor. So how many times have you enlarged it? Something else that's very important here to know is a reflection, a rotation, and a translation is congruent. What does the word congruent mean? Same shape, same size. So this is then same shape, same size. Same shape, same size. The other one is then the enlargement. And the enlargement is similar, similarity, because they are not equal in size, they are similar. And then we say same shape, different size. Same shape, different size. So this is what we need to know when we do then transformations. Right, so if we look on our worksheet now, the first question says, draw the lines of symmetry on the two letters below. That means you must be able to fold it so that it looks exactly the same. So the first one's line of symmetry might be here. Let's just get it there in the middle. So it will be here and here. This one will only have one line of symmetry right there in the middle. At B, they say, write the order of rotational symmetry. Now, if I hold this paper, I can turn this paper twice to the original position. And that is the order of rotational symmetry. So this one will only be one. You can only turn it once around. And this one will be two. If you're unsure, take your tracing paper, which you are allowed in the exam to have. They must hand it out for you. And then you trace it and turn it around, and then you can see which one is which one. Question 2. Write the following as a single vector. So now we're looking at vectors column vectors, and you will remember we said now this is x, y, a column vector. We can add and subtract them, and then you work with x and x and y and y. So 2 plus 1 minus 3 is 0. 3 plus 0 minus 1 is 2. That is my column vector. We can also multiply vectors with a scalar outside. It works like brackets almost. So I'm going to multiply the 6 with a 5, and I'm going to multiply the 6 with a negative 4. So that is my column vector. There is my column vector. Question 3. Write P plus Q as a column vector. Again, x and x, y and y. So 2 plus 3 is 5, and negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. There is your column vector. The point O is marked on the grid below. Draw the vector OP. Now look at this one. There is a direction from O to P, where OP is P. Now the column vector P was 2, negative 3. So we start now here at the origin. Positive 2, remember what we said? It looks like this. If you go to the right, it's positive. If you go to the left, it's negative. If you go up, it's positive. If you go down, it's negative. So now I go 1. I have to, don't just count blocks. You'll have to use the units. So I go 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, because it is negative 3. So this is my column vector, and remember that you will always put an arrow there to indicate the direction, Right, the next page. Draw accurately the reflection of the letter E in the mirror line M. So there we have it exactly. Here is my mirror line right in the middle. Once you've got the first point, it's usually very easy to continue there. I can't start here. This one is 3 blocks to the left. So I go 1, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to start there. Then it is 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks long. So from there, 1, 2, 3, 4. It will be there. We can see here it's going 4 blocks here. There's my 4 blocks there. There's my line. So here I go 3 blocks in, 1 down. It must also always be able to fold. Must always be able to fold it. And there is my reflection. Can you see? But your starting point is very important. The next one is the letter, and it's shows a shaded letter, and this is the image. You must also read that carefully. In each date, there we get that question. Describe fully the single transformation which maps the shaded one onto this one. So this we can see is a rotation. This is a rotation. And my center sits here. There's my center. This, which direction is this? Clockwise. It's a clockwise direction, and it will be 90 degrees. You can measure the angle there, but we can also see that it is 90 degrees. Again, if you're unsure, use your tracing paper, and then you can see how it is rotated there. The next question is obviously an enlargement. This is an enlargement. And there we have to give the center and the scale factor. Now we can see this one is 3 blocks here, and this one is then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it means 9 over 3 gives you a scale factor of 3. The scale factor is 3. And then we also need a center. And we can find the center when we join corresponding points. So what do I mean by that? This point and this point corresponds. So I have to join those points. Here, obviously, this point and this one is going to correspond. You can get some more, but this is going to be your center. There's your center. The next one. Which transformation is this one? This is now the translation. This is the translation. So it's the slide. Can you see? From here to here. Now we have to find the column vector. So X and then Y. So now I have to move this one, but it has to go, that point must go to this point because it must be corresponding points. So I move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points to the left. So it will be -7. And then I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points down. So it's -7, -5. That is my column vector. The next question here, we have two vectors, m and n. Find m plus n, very easy. You just add m, x and x, y and y. So -2 plus -3, do it on your calculator so that you don't make mistakes with the signs. And then -3 plus 4 is 1. So there's your column vector. The second one, 3n, so it means I'm going to multiply this one with this, each one there in the bracket. Remember, never ever put a line there like a fraction. It's not a fraction. So this one is then, now this one is going to look like that, so let's rewrite it here. -9, 12. That is then the column vector for that one. Right, let's turn around. The next question, question 6. Draw in all the lines of symmetry on the shape given. So that means how many lines can you fold it on? It will be those two, but look there and there will also be lines of symmetry. And now the question is, what is the order of rotational symmetry? How many times can I turn it around? There's 4 lines of symmetry, so the order is going to be 4. Question 7. Write OA and AB as column vectors. Now OA is from O to A. So from O to A, so I went 3 to the right and 3 up. So OA is then 3, 3. 3 to the right, 3 up. OB, 3 to the right, 1 up. So OB is then 3 to the right, 1 up. And that's why they're positive. The next one says OC is KOA. Find it. So here's C now. If we join these points now from A to C, then we have the vector OC. Now we said OA was 3, 3. Let's read off OC. This one is 9, 9. Can you see? So that is why K is going to be 3, because I've multiplied it by 3. On the grid, draw the image of triangle OAB when I reflect it in the line X is equal to 4. Now that means that we have to draw that line X is equal to 4. This is this line. I cut the X-axis. X is equal to 4. Now, this is my folding line. So my shape should be a 1 block away here. Can you see? There I'm 1 block to the left. So here I will go 1 block to the right. It is a good idea to plot your points first and then draw the shape, rather than just trying to draw it. What is this point here? It's also 1 block to the right, so it will left. So I'll have 1 block to the right. This one is 4 blocks to the left, so I have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I've plotted my points, and now it is very easy to draw that shape. Then there. And then draw the image of AB. Now this is just this line AB. and under a rotation, 90 degrees anti-clockwise about A. That means A is going to by center. Anti-clockwise is like this, like the watch, and there's the 90 degrees. So this line will be there. There will be the line, the image there. And then they say, complete OCD, the scale factor there, the enlargement is 3 degrees, and the center is 0, 0. Now we already have OC, yeah, and you can just join the points there. So now we just draw D, and this must be joined with O. So there's your enlargement on that one. Right. Next page. Describe fully the symmetry of these two triangles. So that means lines of symmetry and order of rotational symmetry. Now, this one has one line of symmetry there in the middle, and the order is 1. You can only turn this one once. Look at this one. Lines of symmetry, 0. No lines of symmetry, 0 lines of symmetry. And then order, how many times will this one be able to turn around? 3. Order, 3. Use your tracing paper if you're in doubt. Now here we have to draw the reflection in the longest side, which is obviously now this side here. Now remember, this paper, this is not now vertically. It is always a good idea to turn your paper so that your body line of symmetry and this line of symmetry is in line. Then it is easier to draw it. So turn your page so that you can find that point. And what we do then is we have to draw them perpendicular across that line. So I have to plot this point now. So it would be a good thing if you could place your ruler there. This should be perpendicular. Then we measure the distance and we find that second distance there. And then if you join the points, you'll find that one then there. Right, question 9. Okay, reflect figure A in the x-axis and label it B. So this is the x-axis, look there, where you have to reflect it. And this is this one that we should reflect. So it's here on the line. This one is 3 blocks up, so I go 3 blocks down. 2 blocks there, 2 blocks back there. And we have to label this one B. Then they say translate figure A by the vector 4, -4 and label it D. Now 4, -4, this is the vector 4, -4. So from a specific point, let's take this one now. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 down because it's negative. Once you've got the first point, it's again very, very easy. You can plot all the points. But once we've got that first point, it's very easy. So there it is 2 blocks long. So I'm going to draw it 2 blocks. This one is 3 blocks. This one is 2 blocks down. And there's your shape. The next one, figure A, was mapped onto E by an enlargement. So here we can clearly see the enlargement. Find the scale factor. Here I've got 6 blocks. Here you've got 3 blocks. So the scale factor is 2. And then they say find the center. And how do this is very easy. How do I find that center? I join corresponding points. So what do we mean by that? This point and this point corresponds. It's the same point. So I'm going to join them. if I take another one there, this one and this one is going to correspond. And this one and this one is going to correspond. So here I find the center, and the center is 0, 0. There is my center there. Right. The next one. Right, and let's look then at that last one. Now, here we have it on the grid, and you have shape A here. There is shape A. Describe fully the single transformation that maps A onto B, and here is our B. So we can clearly see that that is a reflection. It's a reflection. And how? Over the x-axis, I need a line. I always need a line, not a point, a line. Then the next one, draw the rotation of A about the point 0, 0, there, 90 degrees clockwise, and label it C. So now I have to rotate this one to be here, about that point then there. Now what we do is join one point and the center. Then it is a good thing to trace it. Trace that point, and then you turn it around so that this angle here is 90 degrees. So you trace it and you turn it around. So then you can clearly see where your shape should be. Okay, so this one is then, that side will stand up. There's the line there, and that is, no, this is not B, C. We label this one C, the rotation. Then draw the enlargement of A, scale factor 2, and 0, 0 is the center. So now again, we work from here. Now how do we do that? The scale factor is 2. So what I like to do here is to look to find that first point. It is 2, 2. It works with that column vector, -2, and then 2 up, -2, 2. So if you multiply this now with that scale factor of 2, then we get -4, 4. And that's then actually very easy to draw it. Remember, it must be from the origin. So now you go there from the origin, -4, and then we go up +4, so we go up to 4. So that point is now going to sit there. Can you see? Again, this one is 2 blocks long, so mine is going to be 4 blocks long, and then you can just draw that one up there. My paper doesn't want to go extend now there. The last one is translate A by the vector 6, -4, and label it E. Now 6, -4 means 6 to the right, 4 down. So I start here and I go 6 to the right, 2, 4, 6, and then 2, 4 down. So this is where it will start. Remember, once you've got that first point, it's then very easy to have the next one. So there we went 6 to the right and 4 down. So this is then this point here. This one is 2 blocks. Here it's 2.5, and there will be your E. Thank you.
It's ShopRite's Big low price birthday. We're celebrating with big deals and even bigger savings. Like 10 kilos Bokomo Fed Cook wheat flour for only $109.99 and 750 grams Ricoffee instant coffee for just $79.99. Don't miss out on our big low price birthday. Only at ShopRite.
Win free airtime with #LearnOn1. Share your comments on the lessons. WhatsApp your feedback, name and town to 081 200 6659. #LearnOn1. Invite learning in.
So grade 12s, we are looking now at social arithmetic. Let's again go a little bit back to background knowledge that you need. Social arithmetic. So this is about money and percentages. This is what we're dealing with now here. So you can get questions on rate. Then ratio. Now, there was 4 methods of ratio that you learned. To simplify it in a certain ratio. Missing terms, where we say the boys to the girls is in the ratio 3:4, for instance. And there are 16 girls. How many boys are there? So this is missing terms. You have one of the terms you have. The next one is when we share in a certain ratio. So if we share in the ratio 3:4, then we have to add that ratio. So the one gets 3/7 of something, and the other one gets 4/7 of something. And then we can increase or decrease in a certain ratio. What do we do when we increase? The biggest one is at the top. No, you don't add them. You put the biggest one at the top, so then it's 4/3. If you want to decrease, you put the smallest one at the top, and there's an automatic increase or decrease on that one. Another thing that we need to remember is percentages. Remember, whenever you see that sign, it is over 100 percentages. And then the other method is to find a percentage. Then we multiply with 100/1. That's how you find the percentage. You see the percentage, you put it over 100. The next one is proportion. We get direct and indirect proportion. So direct proportion, the graph looks like this. The more you buy, the more you pay. So to get your constant, it is y over x. Indirect proportion is when I ask you, for instance, to paint the school. So we can say if 10 people is painting the school, it will take 6 days. But if there's only one person who has to do the job, then we need to say my constant is x times y. I multiply to find that one person. And this is a hyperbola that you will get out from there. So proportion, then bills. They can ask you bills. They can ask you tax, questions on tax and bills. And we said now the percentage, then currency, converting it into certain currencies. And that you will also do with missing terms then there. So let's look at the worksheet. Right, so there's the first one now. Okay, Shahida buys a dress costing $27.40 and a scarf costing $5.68. She pays with a $50 note. How much change should she receive? So you just subtract everything from 50, isn't it? Very easy. And I got 16.92. Remember, money is 2 decimal places. They're going to penalize you if you don't do that. 3/5 of the 240 apples in a barrel are bad. How many good apples are there? So you can calculate the bad ones and subtract it, or we can calculate the good ones, which will be 2/5 of that 240. We can do it like that. So how many good ones are there? Well, yeah, 96. 96. The population size of Namibia was this in 1991 and that in 2001. By how much did it increase? So that's just subtracting the 2. I got 4,20410. But now they say calculate the percentage population increase. Now this is always profit or loss on the cost price times 100/1. Always on the cost price. So it will be this profit on which one? 1991, isn't it? On the original one. This is the original one times 100/1. And I have 29.8%. 29.8%. Right, question 4. 4 men in a half marathon team were timed. There's all their times respectively. Calculate the difference in time taken by the fastest and the slowest runner in the team. So which one was the slowest one? Obviously this one, isn't it? And the fastest one? That one, isn't it? That one is the fastest one. So if we subtract the 2, the time, remember there's only 60 minutes in an hour. If we subtract it, the difference is 20 minutes between the 2 there. Then calculate the total time taken by the team in hours and minutes. So we just have to add all 4. Again, remember there's only 60 minutes in an hour. So if you change it, what did you get? Yeah. Yeah, that I got 42 minutes. 7 hours and 42 minutes. Leroux, you? Okay, number C. Write your answer to part B in hours. How am I going to change this now to hours? How many minutes in an hour? 60. So we're going to say it is 7 point, and then come on your calculators. What is 42 divided by 60? Point? 42 divided by 6. Yeah, so it is 7.7 as in hours, only in hours. Yeah, you can, but it depends on your calculator. Some of the calculators have that time button. Yeah, it's actually easier to just do it like this, but you can set it for time. I think you'll have to change the mode. What's always difficult there is you change the mode, then you forget to change it back, and then the rest of the stuff goes in that. So that's why I just prefer to do it like this. And now they say the average time. So what is average? Total divided by frequency. So that means we're going to add all here we have it already, the time, isn't it? And we divide it by the 4 athletes, isn't it? So actually, you can just use this one, 7.7, divide by the 4 athletes, and then we get the average. And the average is 1.925. Look, they say in hours, so I don't need to change it now back to minutes. I can just work with hours there. I use that total time and divide by the 4 candidates, the 4 runners. The price of a jacket is $250. During a sale, the jacket's price is reduced by 15%. Calculate the selling price. Now, here's always 2 methods. We can say 15%. Look, that sign means over 100 of the 250. Then we get the reduction, and then you still have to subtract it. Or you can first subtract it from 100% and then calculate the price automatically. So we can also say 85% of 250, and then you'll also get it. So I get it here that the reduction is $37.50, and then if I subtract the 2, my final answer is then $212.50. $212.50 for that one. Right. The next one. 3 friends, Jen, Rihanna, and Lee, are planning a weekend away at Swakopmund. They will use Lee's car, and Rihanna does all the bookings. They decide to share the weekend's expenses in the ratio 3:2:1. So there's the ratio now there. Their total budget is $3,150. How much must Rihanna contribute? This is sharing. This is sharing. So if we add here, it gives us 6, isn't it? You add the ratio. So what does Rihanna get? 2/6 of the 3,150, which is what? Yeah, 1050. Yes. The distance from their hometown to Swakopmund is 600 kilometers. The price of fuel is $8 per liter, long ago. And Lee's car uses 1 liter for every 12 kilometers. So calculate how much they should budget for fuel. So how do we do this one? Every 12 kilometers, you use 1 liter of petrol, isn't it? So I'll have to divide the 600 kilometers by the 12 to find out how many liters I'm going to use. And then we multiply it with the price of 8. So $400 for fuel. At a restaurant in Swakop, they pay a tip of 10% of their total bill to the waitress. Now look at this one. The bill is $345. That's the final sum. How much does the waitress receive? Now, she gets 10% of that. So it is just 10%. Look again, the moment when we see that sign, we put it over 100 of 345. 10% of 345, and that is then $34.50. Look at it, 2 decimal places. Money, 2 decimal places. That's very important there. They pay $1,140 for accommodation after a $60 discount. How much should they pay without the discount? Must you add or subtract? No, this is the discount. So originally they should have paid more, isn't it? If you get $60 back, you pay $60 less, then you add the 60 to there. That was the original account there. So it's $1,200. That was the bill. Minus the 60 is now that 1,140. They'll cheat you if you don't know this. Then calculate the percentage discount. Now, look, I showed you the formula already. Profit or loss on the cost price times 100 over 1. We must first find that discount. Okay, but in this case, they told us it was $60. So it's 60 on what? The original amount. Which one is now the original? No, this is the original amount. That is when what you pay after the reduction, so you calculated it on this one. So over 1,200, and to find percentage, we times with 100 over 1. To find the percentage, you times with 100 over 1. What is the answer? 5 point? I got 5.26. No. You're right. It is 5%. It is 5%. Right, after the weekend, the remaining money is shared amongst them in the same ratio. Lee receives 45. Sorry, let's just go. Okay, here we are. After the weekend, so it was in the ratio, let me just get the names again. It was 3 to 2 to 1, and this one is Lee, the last one, and he gets 45. So how much money remains after the weekend is shared out? So I need to find out what was Rihanna and Jen's money, isn't it? To get that. So if Lee gets 45, it means she's going to get 90. And this one is going to get, Jen is going to get 135. So now we can add it and subtract it from the original that you have there, and my answer here is 270. That's what that remains. How much remains after the weekend before it is shared out? Okay. Right, let's go to the next page. Question 7. In 2000, Peter bought a house for 250,000. Write this in standard form. Right, Michelle, what is this in standard form? What is standard form? 1 digit times 10 to the power of n. Only 1 digit, only one number. So what will it be? 2.5. There is the 1 digit. That is the 1 digit. 2.5 times 10 to the power of 5. In 2004, Peter sold the house and made a profit of 35%. For how much did he sell the house? So again, we'll calculate the 35% of the 250,000. And then we have to add it. To get the selling price, we have to add that amount there. So this gives you 87,500. Gives you 87,500. And then if we add the two, the final answer here is 337,500. Peter decided to give 200,000 of his money to his 3 children, Anna, Ben, and Krista. Anna received 3/8 of the money. Ben receives 100,000, and Krista gets the rest. And now we have to calculate what Anna and Krista gets. So this is just 3/8 of the 200,000. 3/8 of the 200,000, which is what? 1,575. Oh, no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong place because this answer is in Pulas, so no, 75,000, sorry. And then Krista, so now you just subtract it from 200,000, and it is 25,000 for Krista. 25,000 for Krista. Write down the ratio of money received by Anna, Ben, and Krista. I'll give your answer in its simplest form. So if I compare it now, Anna got 75,000. I'm going to cancel the zeros immediately. Ben gets 100,000 and Krista gets 25,000. So I've cancelled the zeros, and now I have to find the highest common factor that can divide into each one there, which will obviously be 25, isn't it? So if I divide 25 in there, it's 3 to 4 to 1. 3 to 4 to 1. That is what that one is. Mr. Ngani went from Windhoek to Johannesburg via Botswana. He needed to change so many dollars to Pula, and the rate is, okay, so always write down your ratio. It is 1 to 1.05. And he changes $1,500, missing terms. We do this with missing terms. So you multiply with bottom divide by top. And this one is then 1575 Pula. 1575 Pula. Johannesburg is 1,400 kilometers from Windhoek. It took Mr. Ngani 15 hours and 30 minutes to reach Johannesburg. Calculate his speed. What is speed? Look at the triangle. Remember, this is distance, speed, and time. So what is speed? Distance over time. You'll divide the distance with the time. But now the time is, okay, it's 15 hours and 30 minutes, which is what? Yeah, 15.5. We change the minutes to hours, okay? And what is then his speed? Yeah, I got 90.3 kilometers per hour. 3 significant figures. We round off to 3 significant figures. Right, number C. Number C. On a map with a scale of 1 to 50,000, the distance from Gubabus to the local airfield is 10 centimeters. So it means, again, it's going to be with missing terms. This one is 10 centimeters. So you have to multiply there with bottom divide by top. But, yeah, they don't say if we have to give it in kilometers. Oh, the real distance, so it will probably be in kilometers. So if I multiply 50,000 now by 10, then I get 500,000. But remember, this is now in centimeters. Okay? And what will there's 5 zeros in a centimeters in a kilometer. There's 5 zeros, centimeters. Come, Mrs. Geography. Okay. So, but what do we get? Right, so this is then 5 kilometers, but the answer is right. It is 5 kilometers. Okay, then the next page. Okay, the last page there. The cost of 1 kilogram of oranges is $2.16. Find the cost of 3.5. So you just multiply it with that one. We just multiplied, and I got 7.56. Then how many kilograms of oranges can be bought for $10? What must we do now? You'll have to divide this one by 2.16. We'll have to divide that one then there. And what is it? Yeah, you can buy 5 there. Then in March 2008, 1 Namibian dollar was worth so many US dollars. Okay, so again, we write the ratio, 1 to 0.12, and 3,250. How much will it be there in US dollars? I think at this stage, the currency rate is 1 to 15. So multiply with bottom divide by top. So you're actually going to multiply here. And how much is it? Not much. 390 US dollars. 390 US dollars. In July 2008, 1 Namibian dollar was worth so many US dollars, and she changed her US dollars back now. So now the currency rate is 1 to 0.14. She comes back with 390 US dollars. What is it in Namibian dollars? So this time, multiply with bottom divide by top. Now it's a division sum. This time you're going to divide. And the answer is then 464.29. I think you've already subtracted it also. So if I convert it here, it gives me 2785.71. And then you have to subtract it from the original amount there. So that's why her final answer then is 464.29 Namibian dollars. There's quite a lot of questions on social arithmetic in your papers. Make sure you understand this, and this is where you can actually get
Namibia ice. Did I get sister Huldan Navasida? Did I get I ho out? Namibia oncology center Naragrasisen. I come from na. Ti Quito. Bounce I hari. Omsnahari. Umabadang Nahure. Nugu said again ha ugu. Habe I get off Nugu said aga ha ugu habe. Hang are ugu ha. Hoge bounce I hari. Ida kadi nedi 2019 novel coronavirus sting higusa. Au. Bounce I hari.
Akili, 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 akili.
Wash away the germs. Akili and Happy Hippo have come to play with Little Lion. Little Lion doesn't want to play. He's afraid of germs. Germs can make you sick. Don't worry, Little Lion. We will get rid of the bad germs and then you can play with us. They hunt for germs high and low, inside and outside. But the germs are nowhere to be found. What are you looking for? Asked Miss Shrub. We're looking for germs, says Akili. Germs? Germs are everywhere. They are so tiny that you can't see them with your eyes. When you touch something dirty, germs hide on your hands. With water and soap, you can get rid of the germs and make your hands clean. You must wash both sides of your hands, under your nails, and between your fingers. We will wash away the germs and make your hands clean. Akili, get fresh water. Happy Hippo, get soap. Wash, wash, wash with water. Scrub, scrub, scrub with soap. Rinse, rinse, rinse with water, and the germs will be gone. Akili and Happy Hippo run to tell Little Lion that they found a way to get rid of the germs. After we go to the toilet, after we sneeze, when we cook, and before we eat, we wash, wash, wash with water. We scrub, scrub, scrub with soap. We rinse, rinse, rinse with water. And the germs will be gone. Now we can play all day because we know how to keep the germs away. After all that playing, it's time for cake and tea. But remember to always wash your hands before you eat. The end.
Many countries that have passed their first peak of COVID-19 are experiencing a second rise in cases. Is this a second wave of infections, and could even more waves lie ahead? Previous pandemics might give us a clue. The 1918 Spanish flu was the most deadly pandemic in modern history. It killed at least 50 million people. Its second wave was the most deadly by far, killing millions more than the first and third. More recent outbreaks, such as SARS and swine flu, have also had 2 or more waves, so it looks like the COVID-19 pandemic could have several too. The World Health Organization has warned about the dangers of a deadly resurgence. Many countries and places have seen infections accelerate after bringing their first waves under control. These rises aren't necessarily new waves. They could be spikes. Spikes are rapid rises in cases that aren't sustained, whereas waves happen over longer periods and often contain several spikes or peaks. Second waves only take place after a first wave has retreated. Many scientists believe more waves are inevitable and think a worse one could hit during autumn or winter. Some other coronaviruses spread faster when the weather is cold. If this is the case with COVID-19, it would put health systems under huge pressure. Many people are still vulnerable, and immunity to the virus might only last a few months for those who recover. It's also possible that mutations to the virus could lead to new waves. Hundreds of mutations have been found, and some could potentially make the pandemic more severe. One mutation may have already improved the ability of the virus to bind its spike proteins to human cells. This strain of the virus appears to unlock cells more easily and has become dominant around the world. It's unknown how the virus will continue to change, but further mutations could make it even more dangerous and harder to control. A reliable vaccine would help solve many of these problems, but it may take many months or even years to find one. Until then, we all need to make long-term lifestyle changes to protect ourselves from further waves. How are you learning to live in a world with COVID-19?
Dink jy sy het nog steeds abandonment issues?
Is moontlik.
Maar al ons moeite met die sprokies. Ek probeer so hard om my kind gelukkig te maak, maar ek kry dit nie reg nie.
Probeer net help, dis al.
Jy doen niks sonder bymotiewe nie.
So jy hou van die tattoo?
Nee. Maar jy kan nie liefde koop nie. En beslis nie myne nie.
Jy regular.
Am I that predictable?
Jy is 'n gereelde klant en ons net so 'n manier om koffie te drink.
How do you like your coffee?
Gewoonlik swart sonder suiker.
Does black and bitter only pertain to your coffee preference?
Ek hou maar net van my koffie sonder melk. Hoe gaan dit op bal raak slaan na 2 glase wyn?
That was part of my plan.
Wat? Om haar tipsy te maak sodat jy kan wen.
I'm terrible at papa.
In a time of uncertainty, false news, and fear, learn on. While the world scrambles to make new sense, while the experts turn around in circles, trying to find their way back to tomorrow. Learn on. When classrooms become empty cathedrals and the trees start to bear answers, learn on. Learn on. Until every parent is a teacher, and every teacher is a mentor. Learn on. Until you cross the boundaries of your mind, until you grow eyes and sprout wings. My friend, learn on. On sidewalks, on the floor, at the neighbors, in the market, in hallways, in churches, under trees, at kitchen tables, in riverbeds. Learning doesn't only happen between 4 walls. Learning happens in the small space of your enormous, beautiful mind. Start where you are. Use what you have. Learn on one. Invite learning in.